A Jamaican father.
That's right.
And a white mother.
Irish, yeah.
Irish.
It was real interesting. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything because I feel like over time, I got the best of both worlds. But for my parents at the time, particularly my mother, my white mother, it was tough on her. Having not only just, her parents were like real old school, racist Irish, you know what I'm saying? And, much less her dating a black guy. When she came home and told them that she was pregnant by the black dude, they threw her out the house. Like, they disowned her.
Wow.
They disowned her and never spoke to her again.
They never spoke to her again?
No, and she died when I was 9. She died in a car accident when I was 9. Man. And from the time I was born to the time she passed away, they never spoke to her again. That's how deep it was. And so she was like, all right, whatever, man, boom, we out. And then she tried to make it work with my father. And, my father, who just passed away last year, great dude, but he was one of them Jamaican players. So, he was just like, they had the nerve to come to the funeral home.
The funeral, yeah.
Came to the funeral home. And, you know what I'm saying? But I was, like I said, I was only 9. I was just too crazy to, you know what I'm saying? I was just going through my own, private torture. But what was crazy about them was, like I said, they kind of disowned her and whatnot. And she went on, like I said, she was a social worker. So when she passed away, her pension came up for review or whatever, and naturally it was supposed to go to me. Man, they went to court and fought that so that they could get
the grandparents.
Yeah, came out the woodwork, came and fought, and they got it too.
Wow.
Explain that to me.
Even though they didn't adopt you or anything else.
They didn't adopt me. They didn't even say hi to me. What you talking about?
Yeah,
they ain't even say, you know what I mean?
That's weak.
That was crazy too. And then I had to go live with, I not had to go, but my father, I went to live with my father, who I was just kind of seeing on the weekends. He was like a weekend dad. And, when you go from, Irish, white to, hard Jamaican, that was a culture shock. You know what I'm saying?
How many?
What ended up happening, like when I went to live with my father, like my whole life kind of changed, and my life became way blacker. It was me and him, and eventually, we ended up in Queens in a very great middle class black neighborhood. The only relatives that I interacted with people on my dad's side were all, black folks, Jamaicans, you know what I mean? So my life kind of went black. And that was cool because particularly at that time, if you're talking about, 70s and stuff like that, white folks were weird, even in New York, even as cosmopolitan as a place as New York is. White folks was a lot of times where we were living. At some point we were living in Staten Island and other areas we lived in. The white folks was like, if you was any part black, we're not fucking with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're you know what I'm saying? You're a nigger. You drop one drop and we can put you in that category in their minds. When we lived in Staten Island, we used to get chased from school, like junior high, like almost every day. Like it was a major thing. As opposed to, when I was hanging out in even when we was in Staten Island, when I was hanging out in like Park Hill and those places, like where the Wu-Tang is from, and anytime I was around, mainly around people of color, they were all way more accepting. They were like, if you got any part black, then you're black.
That was dope.
Relocated, or he located to to the Hearst, and I was already there. And to make a long story short, we were in 2 different rap crews. He used to be in a crew called the Turnout Brothers.
Right.
I used to be in a crew. I used to be in a crew called the Super Lovers, and I got kicked out of 5 schools. So there's a price to pay for that.
He just went by that real quick. Huh? I got kicked out of 5 schools.
What school? High school? Elementary schools?
High School of Art and Design, Flushing High School, Jamaica High School, Hillcrest High School, and I ended up getting my GED at Satellite Academy on Hillside.
What were you kicked out for?
Dude, you don't want to know what this dude was doing. This dude, he was the original Young Thug.
You were the wild guy back then.
Go ahead.
That's what they say. They say you was looked up the Fat Cat, Pappy Mason, like
those were my heroes, man. I was a knucklehead.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't have the kind of heroes a lot of cats have today. You know, there was no rap stars. And from my upbringing, you know, my father being out there, and the black exploitation films and all of that, I thought that's all it was for us, you know. So that when we seeing these ghetto celebrity stars,
shit like
you know
that,
what I'm saying, with the Benzes and the BMWs and all that good stuff, I thought that's all it was for me. Because when cats was in the school, you know, the firemen and the president of the bank coming talking about how to be successful, I didn't know nothing about what the heck they were talking about. Talking to me about roaches in the house.
In the sheepskin.
Talking about no heat in the house. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not seeing the Mark IV, you know, Continental Mark IVs and all of that. So I was stupid, man. But to God be the glory, man.
You worked there at the same time.
I know I got fired
Well,
first.
no, Martin worked at the gas station across the street. Martin,
Right, like he was working at Sayers with y'all.
yeah, it was a Hess gas station across the
He'd
street.
fill up our tanks.
Yeah, Martin used to pump gas across the street.
But y'all knew him though.
Yeah.
Y'all leave Sears, go over to the gas station, Martin be over there.
It was a lot. There's so many 6 degrees of separation in our career and our journey. It like ain't even funny. You know what
I mean,
saying?
if you go back and watch some early Salt and Pepper videos, you'll see us dancing in the
Shake Your
back.
Thing.
Yeah, we used to open
Was
for
y'all a
them.
tramp?
Led to another as we grew up and parents started kicking their kids out of the house saying you had to get a job. We were the only 2 left standing.
Right.
And we had a group called Fresh Force. It was just he and I. We used to do cover joints like Run DMC had My Adidas. We had She's a Skeezer.
Okay. You know, just trying to get on. You know what I'm saying? Trying to
Falco's
get on.
Rock Me Amadeus. We had Rock Me. And we all...
Let's go for what we know as we rock to this rap concerto. Step on the stool and wave a stick and conduct to the strings and a beat that kick. The kids are the car, the drums are machine. Mozart, Amadeus never had it this mean. Well, boys, are you down for a symphony? If you always hell and yeah, just
hoping and hoping that we will meet. She always comes fly, never less than cute. Just dreaming and scheming and tearing my suit. Anything I do, whether wrong or right, she'll be on it, doggone it, if I'm rocking the mic. To please her skis, make records like these to be found in the States and all the countries. Now I'm just standing here shooting my lip.
Herbie was looking for the next thing to do after the launch of Salt and Pepper. And we was at a party one time, and all these labels kept coming at him like, yo, who's next? We want to know who you got next. And lo and behold, that was Fred Mineo. Herbie and I speaking, he pointed to us, and Kid and Play was born.
We're all from the same neighborhood, and Kid and Play didn't have a DJ. Herbie was like, use Wiz. So they came and got me, and the rest is history.
the phone, my girl was telling me she was all alone. So I asked her if she was down to go to Union Square, check out the show. She said okay, she'd never seen Red Spin. In order to go, she'd have to bring a friend. Thought if I put things up, getting paid would be a shoo-in. Wonder what Playboy's like. At the house, we just maxed. The girls came out ready to attack. Mine was dope, but his was whack. Play looked at me and said,
Yo, I ain't with that. I'm out of here.
he wanted to lose her. We got in the car, he began to abuse her. Broke on her face, said it was a crime. He said,
Your head's so bald, I could read your mind.
Friday or Saturday night, you know, wonder what Playboy's doing. So kind of our adventures, going to the club, meeting a couple of girls.
L, the Kid Wink slipped me 10 and said,
chill.
Finally inside, man, the music was dope till a true bum rushed the guy for his rope. The next thing I knew, a war broke out. Kid and his dip north, me and mine skipped south. And her rock beats, people started to dance, and the riffing ceased. I chilled up on the wall to catch my breath until this girlie jumped up and said,
This jam is death.
I saw she was a rebel, I was feeling faint, the hot body of a devil, the face of a saint. Could I have been wrong all night long? Was this the girlie I've been breaking?
It was our first record that we really, like, you could tell, like, you know, we started to make some noise with.
Last night changed it all. Last night, I really had a ball.
To me, let me pick the girl that's giving sex to me. It's time to collect my feet. Plays by my side, ripping, running, sticking, gunning. The boy's still stunning. Heard, don't obstruct this. Where's the trumpets? Give me the beat and I'll pump this my way.
Hot, light the match, then pray as the DJ starts scratching. Kid and Play with the rep, notorious. Take a step. Why don't you just get on the floor? The rhyme ambassadors so hype you wanna crash your door in. Cause Play is at it again. Behave. I'm about to begin and do it my way.
Do this my way. Do this my way. I can, you know, that's really my favorite. That's my favorite. It was our first, you know, and I don't know if you know what they say about you first. You never really forget that first one, you know.
soldier, I'm a cobra. I'm ready to strike, administer sinister rights. So savage, axe to the wax. I'm gonna do damage like a volcano about to erupt. Get set, I'm gonna wind it up. I spit funk.
Had to do to make that video, man. It was a cold and
Harlem,
rainy
it was
night
in Harlem.
on 143rd,
Right.
146th Street in Harlem. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And director Simeon Sofa had to
It was
pay off
cold that night.
some local
Local talents.
so, yes, local talent,
Local
yes,
talent, they were
to
very
keep the
helpful.
peace, yes.
We're just hyping it up. You know just how it had to be. Just take a look around, boy. Can't you see eyes up on Russian girls are just blush.
Herbie had go-go on his mind, and I had the idea to flip this old R&B record by a group called Ripple, and so we just kind of combined it. So we put that with that Ola Ola A with that go-go swing on it, and it just worked. And we're talking about 88, 89. That's when go-go was bubbling, where people thought maybe it had a chance to really break out, which it never did. But to this day, that's our closer, man.
It's your biggest record.
It's our most popular record. I don't know. I think maybe Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody might have sold a little bit more.
Yeah.
But people want to hear that Ola Ola A and kick your feet together. Good night.
Before we continue, let's make one thing very clear. This ain't the place to be in if you came to stand and stare. My partner plays ready. Yeah, I'm ready. So get set. Last night I did it my way. Don't you front, girl, it was death. You called me up this morning and said let's do it again. Don't bug out on me, baby. We committed. Feels good. You know it could not ever be wrong. You and me could and we should just rock it all night long. She said, baby, baby, everything will be alright. Alright. If you don't get uptight, baby, baby, everything will be alright. Alright.
Young girls are like crying when they see these guys. It was surreal and unreal at the same time. We had never seen anything like that, and it's exciting.
Who doesn't like being liked by girls? You know what I'm saying? We were always kind of looking at each other like, can you believe this? Like, what? Really?
This is a PG show, right? How much fun did I have on the road?
Wanted was a single.
Get the fuck out
for the women. That's all I wanted. It was just a 12-inch single. That's all. That's me and Eric B. Just get us. We good. I was good already, but that was gonna be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I never in my wildest dreams it'd be a full album, music videos, movies, cartoon series, Marvel comic strip. At one time there was what was it? Mattel was talking about her toys at one time for us. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all had the Saturday morning cartoon joint, right?
Yeah, but first rappers ever had
What I'm asking is,
Reggie Hudlin, who wrote and directed the original House Party, was a video director back in the days, and he used to chase me in particular. He used to chase me down in clubs because he wanted to shoot a music video on us. But we had a guy at that time, so we were cool. Then one time he stepped to me and was like, "Yo, excuse me, I got a movie script for y'all." And we was like, "What?" So back then, it was in our crew, like me, Play, and the Herbie Lovebug producer. It was kind of like my job to read stuff. You know, so we got the script, and I remember reading it, and I remember coming back and playing Herbie. I said, you know what? It's like 70% there. Like the structure was really strong, the characters were fleshed out. It just
is House Party.
This is the original script for House Party.
And it was written for you guys? Because I heard it was Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince.
Original, well, yeah, that.
Reggie and them wanted us to do it because they was familiar with our videos and stuff.
Right.
They felt it was a good fit. New Line Cinema wanted Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff because they felt it was a better bang for to edge their bets.
Right.
But at the time, They were suing Will and Jeff
Oh, yeah,
for
over that
Nightmare
record.
on Nightmare on My Street.
Right.
And Jeff and them was like, what are you, crazy? Wants to do a movie and you suing us?
Right.
So they weren't with it. But Reggie and Warrington always wanted us to do it.
So you were already, originally, conceptually, they were always thinking about you.
Yeah, I mean...
I read the joint, I felt like it was 70% there. And I thought we could bring it the rest of the way. Like we could hip hop legitimize it. Okay. And so I urged the guys that we ought to do it. I
didn't want to do it.
Right. So, but this is what happened. To his credit, Reggie Hudlin let us do basically what we wanted to. He was saying stuff like, look, here's the structure, here's the format. Now, if there's a better way to say it, to get to where we got to get to it, if there's a more hip-hop and a legitimate way to say it, do it that way. So he allowed us to do that, and in particular, Full Force, all that stuff that Full Force did, they made up all that stuff. All that I smell, all that kick your fucking ass, all that, they made up all that. Yeah. They made up all of that stuff. And that's one of the great things that we liked about Reggie, because he let us do our thing. Now, if it came to something really, really crucial that he thought was crucial to the scene or something like that, maybe he would hold the fort on that. But for the most part, he kind of let us do our thing and let the hip hop come out. And
truth be told, I didn't want to do the movie because at the time we was making crazy money with the music.
Right.
And I felt
and you would think,
I felt we was making great money. I'm looking at the history of hip hop in movies because prior to that we had Wild Style, and we can't forget Tougher Than Leather.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we can't forget. So the bar is there. Let's just forget.
So I'm like, if Run DMC can't pull off of a movie, who the heck do we think we are? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be the business-minded one. But we had this rule among us called majority rules, and Herbie and Kid outvoted me. And it's the best.
How many albums you got?
I play, Kid and plays DJ, and Bilal, but I'm not the real DJ. So a lot of people be going, yeah, man, Wiz, that ain't no Wiz. So I'm not him. Basically, thank God I ain't got to do a lot of scratching and everything because I don't do that. I'm just acting. So, and a lot of people question that.
Well, we have this big dance number, we are the best dancers. We have to, let Kid and Play have their little spotlight because it is their movie, okay? But we are better dancers than Kid and Play will ever be.
We don't tell them that we told you this, but you know that little kick step? We gave it.
Don't tell them we told you, but they really
right.
got it from us. We're much better dancers, but we had to let them get their little play, because
Well, house party is about a house party. And my son wants to rap, wants to be a rapper, the guy with tall hair, and light-skinned guy. I married a white woman, we had a beige baby. And that's my son. And he wants to go to a party. And I tell him, no, you can't go to the party. He says, but I want to go. And he goes to the party without my permission. And I comes in and I take her.
Gonna be me or Eraserhead. Put your money on a sorry old poor thing when you can get behind a sure thing. And that's me, the capital P on the high tip. One false move and you'll get your ass whipped. Just tell me how the rhymes and the cut sound. You won't start feeling the pain till you touch ground. Boy, you're going way out. I'm ready to serve you. If you can stay out past your pop's curfew.
I wouldn't do that just yet. Cause your ass is mine.
I can explain. I can explain, really.
Top fade off.
I don't sit around, play, I don't kid around. So come with it, boy, don't even hide your best. Cause kids spelled backwards describes your best. Look around, watch the people clap hands in unity as the momentum swings from you to me. You issue the challenge, yeah, you threw it up. Step to the stage, too late, I blew it up.
You didn't say nothing, did you? The gold chain. Is that gold or just been spray painted? Put the light on, right here. With the gold chain on. I bet that's just been spray painted. He can't even walk past a magnet. Got on that Richie Cunningham sweater. It's cold out there, y'all. Saw Superman in a cab. Damn. I said, why you ain't flying? My defroster ain't working, Robin. Oh, guys, how you doing, fella? You ain't never seen me before, is you? Big man like that. Put the spotlight on. That man so big, he don't be walking and rolling. Just... Damn. I see you got a weight problem. Can't wait to eat.
That month, House Party came out. And, you know, I remember seeing the advertisements for that. All right, he had just filming his role in Mo Better Blues as a jazz club MC. You know what I'm saying? He had other projects that were going to be lined up that he hadn't quite filmed yet. He was going to star in a movie with William Dafoe. He was going to probably appear. There were talks about him appearing on CBS TV where it was going to be him and he was going to play a role of a cop or something shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he was really going to take off. Because he gained a little weight the last couple of years of his life. You might have sometimes noticed that he would sort of gasp a little bit when he was doing his stand-up routines, like, you know. And while he never was officially diagnosed with it, he probably had sleep apnea. People would say that he would have breathing problems that interfere with his sleep. Sometimes he would, and this increased as he gained a little weight. He would sometimes nod off during the day. As a matter of fact, sometimes he'd be in conversations with people and he would nod off. And, you know, Robin knew something was a little bit off, but it's not something like people would look at and be like, oh, wow, this is serious, you know. People didn't know the dangers of sleep apnea back then. Was that he had a baby on the way. His wife was 3 months pregnant. He had recently told Martin Lawrence that he was really happy at this time in his life. Later that night, he performed at the Southside Theater in Chicago to a sold-out crowd. It was an 80-minute set, and by all accounts, it was a smashing success. Even Robin, who could be self-critical at times, felt that it was very funny. And after this performance, he and some close friends went to a prime rib dinner, and then after they went to a blues club. But naturally, of course, after all of this, Robin was quite tired. And he went back to his hotel room, and he was so tired he fell asleep on the floor. And it was a friend of his who adjusted Robin from the floor and moved him to the bed. This friend would be the last person to see Robin Harris alive. In the morning of March 18th, 1990, after not answering calls, his mother was the one that found Robin Harris unresponsive. He wasn't breathing. CPR was performed on him. The paramedics arrived and rushed him to the hospital, but it was too late. Robin Harris had died at the age of 36. That it wasn't drugs that had been earlier speculated or alcohol that killed Robin Harris, but cardiac arrhythmia, heart disease, probably as a consequence of his breathing issues while sleeping that aggravated and caused that problem.
What he was doing, everybody does now. You know what I'm saying? Right. So when you're looking at on certain specials, comedy specials, and you see the comedian going into the crowd and going for 30 minutes, you look like this, you look like that, or somebody come get this person. My dad was doing that back then, you know what I'm saying? But at first, it wasn't really too accepted, I guess, in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. So I think he was definitely, a pioneer, especially in urban comedy. And I think that he was definitely ahead of his time, you know.
Man, I met a girl a couple of weeks ago, man. You know she gonna tell me, she gonna tell me, if you want to get acquainted with me and my son, you'll have to take us to Disneyland. Ain't that a bitch? I went to pick her up the next day, here she got 4 more kids. I said, who kids to them? She said, them baby kids.
I said, where in the fuck is baby? She said, baby went downtown. I said, why did she take her kids with her? I hate my wife. I ain't gonna need me lying. Y'all can tell if y'all want to. I mean, I hate her. I wear my wedding ring on the wrong finger because I married the wrong goddamn woman. Serious. I know luck of women, boy. Every woman I meet, all these old badass kids. You can't even get nothing. You go to a girl house 3 o'clock in the morning, little boy's still up, ain't he? Drinking coffee and taking no-do. Start looking at your ass. Hey, look at your ass. Talking about, can't hang, huh? You be young, can't hang, huh, bro? Damn right I can't hang. You ought to be in bed. Little fucker. I mean,